Now on Denver 7 News at 5, Douglas County divided. The message students and parents are now taking to the streets.
I was so angry and I was so sad for our community.
The battle brewing as an entire district gets ready to walk out.
Plus, new leads in this weekend's Aurora church shooting. Police have a suspect but need your help finding him.
I can't afford $1,700, $1,800 a month as a single parent, paying the bills on my own.
Help for high rent prices. We go in depth on solutions already out there for Coloradans.
Thanks so much for joining us for Denver 7 News at 5. I'm Jacqueline Allen.
I'm Brian Wang. Students in Douglas County are planning a walkout tomorrow in protest of the recent actions of the school board.
That's right. The board voted to fire longtime Superintendent Corey Wise Friday night. The reaction from some parents, staff, and students has been frustration.
Sure has. Denver 7's Pat Perez is in Castle Rock tonight to see how the community is coming together in support of the former superintendent.
We've seen car after car show up here at Bison Park in Castle Rock to get these messages of encouragement painted on the back of their windows. They want to show that after Friday night's vote, this community can still come together. Cleaning off the dirt to make way for a message of unity.
We're painting a message that says come together because that's what we want to do.
Dozens of cars now don these words of support in response to the firing of Douglas County Schools Superintendent Corey Wise.
I was so angry and I was so sad for our community.
Sarah Wu has 2 kids in DCSD. She says Sunday's car painting events at Bison Park in Castle Rock and the Highlands Ranch Town Center are about coming together for teachers, staff, and students.
We are pro-union, we are anti-union, we're Democrat, we're Republican, we're just mad parents. We are an outraged community.
Friday night's vote to fire Wise by the board's 4 newly elected members further deepened a rift within the community. But parents in support of the board members' decision say it shouldn't have come as a surprise. New board, big changes. Teachers like Tina Stroman just wish they could have given Wise more time.
Even when people disagree, they can come together for a really special cause and to do good work for the betterment of our kids and our system.
With her nearly 3 decades of experience at DCSD, she's seen a lot of changes, some good, some bad. She's worried now how this change at the top will trickle down.
I think it's going to be hard. I think that the future is really uncertain and really cloudy.
But despite all of this turmoil, the best she can do is stay put.
We have a job to do here, and we want to stand up for what's right, and we're going to do that together.
And with the outpouring of support we saw Sunday, she won't be at it alone. In Castle Rock, Patrick Perez, Denver 7.
All right, Patrick, thank you. Aurora police need your help finding this man. Today, they identified Jose de Jesus Montoya Villa as a suspect in the deadly church shooting. On Friday night, a woman was shot and killed, and 2 pastors were injured at the Iglesia Faro de Luz church. Police are asking anyone with information on his whereabouts to call them or Metro Denver Crime Stoppers. There's a $2,000 reward for information leading to his arrest.
It's not just that affordable housing is hard to find in Colorado. In a lot of cases, it's impossible.
Which is why some counties are stepping up with short-term solutions like millions of dollars in rental assistance.
Denver 7's Christian Lopez shows us some long-term solutions too, now in the works.
Lucretia Nutt has been living in this 1-bedroom apartment in Aurora for a year. She recently got a surprise when she went to renew her lease.
I was paying $975, now it's $1105, and then gas and water are added into that. So it can be anywhere between $1175 to $1,200. I'm in a 1-bedroom. I have a 16-year-old son. I want him to have his own room, but I can't afford $1,700, $1,800 a month as a single parent, paying the bills on my own.
It is a huge problem here. And rent is expensive in Colorado, and especially in the Denver metro area. If you're in a job that earns $15 or $16 an hour, you're hard-pressed to find anything that you can afford.
We asked Arapahoe County what kind of help is available to people like Lucretia who are struggling to make ends meet.
Currently, right now, the county is doing emergency rent assistance with the emergency rent assistance program that was approved through the federal government, and the funds were pushed down to us.
Haley says they're putting those funds to use. In December alone, they provided $1 million worth of rental assistance, and in January, around $940,000. But in many cases, this is just a short-term solution.
So luckily, there are some programs that, help. I'm still learning what all these programs are. I want to see if I can qualify for Section 8. I hate to do that. I want to do this on my own, but it feels like it's almost impossible.
While Section 8 is an option for those who qualify, Haley says those wait lists are usually long and not always open. The county is looking at other long-term solutions.
We are currently in the process of approving some funding for several upcoming affordable housing developments. They haven't completely come to fruition yet, but they're in process. There's a lot of things happening exciting at the state level, at the Division of Housing level. There's going to be some movement in the affordable housing. It's just that the need is so huge.
I know it's hard for everybody. For myself, I'm just every day, just get up, go to work, and keep positive.
For now, Lucretia says she was able to get some assistance through the Arapahoe Douglas Works Workforce Center, but she will continue looking at different resources available so she can get into a bigger space. In Aurora, Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
And we want to go in depth now on the current affordable housing situation here in Colorado.
We're going to cover what's going wrong, what's going right, and what else our government is doing to help. All right, starting off with the biggest hurdle, the supply and demand balance. The state's Affordable Housing Task Force says 225,000 housing units must be built for current Colorado residents over the next few years to keep up with growth. Another 100,000 units must be built for new residents. But there's no guarantee those houses will be affordable. Over the past decade, the number of units deemed affordable for those making less than $45,000 a year dropped by 300,000.
Even if you can afford rent, finding a place is the real challenge. A recent study from rentcafe.com shows every apartment in Denver has on average 14 prospective renters. 14. That puts the city in 38th place on the list of the top 50 most competitive rental markets. Knoxville, Tennessee actually has the worst ratio in the country with 36 potential renters per apartment. Now the situation is pretty similar when it comes to finding a house. On Thursday, the Denver Metro Association of Realtors released its latest monthly update. It revealed the number of home listings hit a record low with just under 1,200 homes listed.
And renting may be your best bet for now, at least. The Denver Business Journal reports it's now cheaper to rent in more Colorado counties than to buy. It's typically the opposite. Summit and Eagle counties are ranked as two of the least affordable counties in the country for buying a home, with an average sale price topping $1 million. Now, Broomfield is our state's most affordable county to rent, but that's because of the county's overall higher average monthly wage. Still, every Colorado county saw a price increase the last couple years. Here in the metro, home prices jumped more than 16% from 2020 to 2021.
All right, so what's being done to create more affordable housing? Well, in Denver, the city's working on a policy requiring developers to add affordable options in all new projects. Under the expanding housing affordability proposal, all new residential buildings with 10 or more units would need a portion of those priced for people making 90% of our median income. For a single person, that's about $66,000. Now, we spoke to several Denver officials who say this policy could make sure our essential city services can continue to function.
As we know that the cost of living in Denver has really gone up, not everyone's salaries have been able to keep up with Denver's growth. And so this really means that we can start making a meaningful dent in better meeting our affordable housing needs.
What it means is that we can start to make sure that every time new housing is built in our city, some of it is for the hardworking residents we rely on to keep our buildings running, to keep our schools and our hospitals running. We want those workers to be able to live in the same city that they provide their service in.
The Denver Housing Authority is also available to help. It has a portfolio of more than 12,000 affordable units available. The agency is also working to redevelop the Sun Valley neighborhood just south of Empower Field. 2 buildings are now open and 2 more are expected to open next year.
It is, Denver's next great neighborhood. It's in a prime location, close to light rail, close to major transportation hubs, close to downtown, close to healthcare, close to a lot of activities that not only our residents but other people in the greater community will look for as a benefit.
For assistance through Denver Housing Authority, you have to make 80% of the area median income or under. So for one person, that's up to $58,000. For a family of 3, That's up to $75,000.
And here's what's happening now. At the state level, lawmakers are working on how to spend federal funding to create more affordable housing. A housing task force came out last week with its recommendations on how to spend $400 million. That money is left over from the American Rescue Plan Act. The recommendations include $150 million for a revolving loan fund to help develop and preserve affordable housing. Another $150 million will be allocated for grants to nonprofits and local governments for their housing ideas. The money has to be spent within the next 4 years. A bipartisan group of lawmakers say they are also working on some policy-based solutions to address the housing crisis.
That sounds good. All right, a sound that represents triumph for many cancer survivors. Now patients at a Denver hospital get to ring in. A touching story behind this survivor bell and the man who donated it.
Plus, it's another step forward in a community healing process, how the Table Mesa King Soupers will honor the lives lost before it reopens this week.
I'm meteorologist Stacey Donaldson. We dropped those temperatures today only in the 30s here for the Front Range and most of the Eastern Plains, but we're about to warm things up. I'll have the 7-day forecast coming up.